I mentioned the balance of power so many times in the previous weeks. The reason why I keep mentioning about balance of power is that the theory of balance of power is one of the very useful tools to explain the inter-Korean relations or the East Asian politics in the later chapters. So now let us introduce or explain the theory of balance of power in details. Let me make a definition first. The balance of power theory suggests that states may secure their survival by preventing any one state from gaining enough military power to dominate. In other words, states are making balance of power policy in order to prevent another country gaining military power or gaining a dominating position in that region. So if one country becomes much stronger, it will make advantages of all weaker neighbors. It will take advantages of weaker countries, manipulate weaker countries, right? So thereby, this action drives the weaker countries to unite in a defensive coalition. If one country increases power, other countries get together in order to defend, make a defensive coalition. So realists maintain that a balance of power system is more stable than one dominant, controlled by one dominant country. So there could be two ways to establish stability in the system, in the world. One is all the countries are making coalition in order to prevent one country gaining dominance, or one country gain the dominance and governance the all countries. But realists maintain balance of power system is more stable. So making coalition against a powerful country is more stable than one country dominating all other countries. And also, it is particularly true that as aggression is unprofitable when there is equilibrium of power between rival coalitions. When there is a coalition among the countries, one dominant power shows up, and that's not profitable. So dominant power does not make any profits when there's a defensive coalitions against it. So realists argue that the balance of power system is more stable than one country with a dominant system. So balance of power in European history. So theories of balance of power was created in order to explain the peculiar 18th to 19th century international relations of Europe, particularly by the diplomacy of the United Kingdom. The UK tried to prevent any single country from achieving hegemony in the continent and to make an equilibrium of the European system. In other words, in the 18th century, the UK already completed the industrialization. So UK always wanted to trade with other countries and other continents. But continuously, there were wars by either France or France or Russia in the 18th and 19th century. So the UK was to make an equilibrium or balance of power in the European continent. So in order to explain the UK diplomacy in the 19th century, theory of balance of power was created. Let me explain the diplomacy of the UK in the 19th century. There's UK, the most developed after the industrialization, and France with Napoleon, and Russia. Traditionally, France and Russia were the most powerful country in the European continent. when Napoleon made Napoleon Wars, the UK made an alliance with Russia in order to defeat Napoleon versus France, and defeated the French. After the Napoleonic Wars, the European economy was devastated. Russia became the strongest in the continent. So Russia wanted the Crimea land. So Russia threatened Turkey to get the Crimea area. So the UK made an alliance with the France and helped Turkey in order to defeat Russia. So for the United Kingdom, there was always France or Russia made trouble in the continent. So UK made a brilliant idea. Why don't UK make Prussia unite and strong Central Europe to make a buffer zone in order to prevent any war between France and Russia? So UK helped Bismarck of Prussia for unification, and France strongly opposed to the unification of Prussia. So UK helped Bismarck and had war against France. UK-Prussia alliance versus France in the Franco-Prussian War. Finally, UK defeated France, and Prussia became unified and moved to the southward and established a Germany. It was a buffer zone between France and Russia. So there was a total equilibrium, a balance of power was formed in the continent, and UK went to abroad for trade. It was a typical UK diplomacy in the 19th century. So in the 19th century, UK already completed industrialization. So foreign policy goal of the UK was to prevent any country from acquiring hegemony in the continent. And then UK go abroad for trade. Those days, Sir Palmerston of UK said, the Great Britain had no eternal friends, nor eternal enemies. It has only eternal national interests. Today's a friend could be tomorrow's enemy, and today's enemy could be tomorrow's a friend. It's the real scene of diplomacy in the 19th century Europe. Now, balance of power as a theory. You see a picture here, a seesaw of power. If country A was like this and expands power like this with increasing national expenditure or importing the strategic or tactical weapons from abroad and increase power like this. And then what about the country B's reaction? It has two options. First, it increases its own capability, but it takes money. So if B cannot afford to that increasing money, increasing the capability, then B makes the alliance with country C. And the weight of seesaw went down like this, and later it goes like this. It makes balance of power or equilibrium. So the real definition, in theoretical definition of balance of power means the roughly equal distribution of power. Why we use roughly? Because power's got subjective as well as objective elements. That's the power seesaw gets the equilibrium again, and then war does not break out. That's the fundamental assumption of the balance of power theory.